like this just on our own, just because we're asking questions to ourselves. Can we really, did I bring that on all by myself? Or was that something that was like being blasted to the universe, like to the planet Earth, or what, however you want to look at that, you know?
Right.
I mean, I don't even know, but nevertheless, it completely changed my life. And I even forgot, Roger, I even forgot that I smoked cigarettes.
That's pretty good.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, right there is just another thing that tells me, wow, because I was trying to explain to everybody what happened to me. I'm like, oh my God, it's like I should have had a V8, which I don't even know why I said that, but that was one of the commercials back then where I'm like, yeah, I should have had a V8. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could not make any sense because things like that happen are like unexplainable, really, in words. It was hard to find words. And all my friends thought I lost my mind. They were like, yeah, Sonya's fucking tripping, you know? And I was just doing speed. I wasn't doing like any crazy drug or anything like that.
Yeah, just speed.
You know, there's some people out there that might think speed is a crazy drug. And yeah, it used to be a lot different back then, but it's not a crazy drug, really. I guess some people, it does make them crazy, like me.
For me, it's a crazy drug. See, when I did speed, I freaking ended up doing like really weird shit.
Really?
Yeah, and it wasn't really because it had like this effect that like LSD does, you know what I mean? It was because I had lack of sleep and I was running off of freaking like 5 days with only a bologna sandwich to eat.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, I started doing crazy shit, you know. But
lack of sleep will do the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
If you stay up for however long, you're gonna start like getting into some weird parts of things. You know what I mean?
Hallucinations and crazy stuff like that.
Yeah. Calm hallucinations, but is that really you just seeing through the veil, or is that a hallucination? You know what I mean?
Well,
who knows? We're trained to think it's a hallucination, which makes me think that it probably isn't. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, people still debate over that when it comes to like CO2. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people that when they're exposed to carbon monoxide, they start having visions and they start seeing ghosts. And now my question was always, do you think that was a result of the carbon monoxide, or do you think the carbon monoxide actually made it to where you were capable of seeing ghosts?
You
know,
for sure. And I mean, our brains are like, they're like the biological computer kind of thing going on, because if we don't, and our beliefs have a lot to do with that. Obviously, otherwise there wouldn't be so much attention put on mind control and things, belief control or whatever. But I mean, if you believe you can see something, it's gonna be way more likely that you see it than if something you don't believe you're gonna see it. Right. And then there's just those things that bust in and you see them anyway, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But your belief has a lot to do with that. And then too, there's the chemical part too, because of the fluoride that's in the water, that totally takes your pineal gland, which is the center. If you imagine something in your mind, that's your pineal gland at work. Okay, that's how it happens. If you can visualize something, the reason why you can is because you're using your pineal gland. Even though, and this is scientific, this isn't even something that I'm like guessing at or like what old fucking shamans say. It's not even any of that. What it is that the fluoride goes in and calcifies your pineal, like as blood runs through your pineal as it does through every other part of your body. Apparently, from what I've researched, is that the pineal takes more blood passing through it than any other organ, like at any one point in time. So basically, a lot of blood goes through there. And if your blood is contaminated with fluoride or poisons like that, then you're going to, it's going to calcify it. And probably most people who at least live in, who use faucet water, you know, which is most people, they're going to have a calcification of their pineal. And not only water, it's in everything nowadays. It's in like cereal. It's even in like the cookware, like the nonstick cookware. The fucking, you know, how it peels off every now and again or whatever when you're cooking, and that shit's like, oh, it's just we got to get a new pan. No, it's just that's the amount of fluoride that you've now taken into your body and your food that you don't notice because it's so minuscule. And then let's not get into like the chemtrails and shit like that, because it's so much further advanced than that. But basically, my whole point with that is that if you're, if you're alive here and live in like what they call civilized society, with running water and things like that, chances are your pineal is going to be a little bit calcified. And if you take steps to make it uncalcified, to decalcify it, you will find that you will have a spiritual experience. Like, a lot of people have the Kundalini type of thing happen with that, because it's how we're built. It's not like it's something that's like crazy esoteric or occult shit that's just a mystery or anything. No, that's actually how our bodies function. And the guys who put this shit in the water, they know this, and that's why they put it in the water. Because if we're all aware of who we are and functioning at our top, like, limit or limitless, then they're not going to have any power anymore. They won't have any power over us, because we'll all be like, fuck you and your fucking water, and fuck you and your fucking cable bill. Fuck all that. We're not going to be putting up with that shit anymore. We won't need to be entertained by whatever's on TV, or, it's just so, like, it's so crazy. And that's another reason I put out the shirts, so that people can, just remember who they are, kind of thing. Right. Basically, it's each one is like a road to being able to remember who you are, kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like an awakening, basically.
Yeah, yeah, an awakening. Yeah, sure.
So now, I from me, in my experiences, I've had to go through recovery, and they were real big on spiritual awakenings now, in spiritual experiences, and they were real big about moments of clarity. But the one thing that really helped me, I think, in my experiences, was crossing over a threshold. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it took a lot of pain for me to freaking actually have that moment of clarity, to where I could see clearly and understand, like, something's got to change, you're going to die, So, like, with me, I guess the best question I have to ask you is there a moment in your life where you actually had to cross a threshold, like a threshold of pain, where you had to change and actually had another moment of clarity where things made sense at that moment, where, look, you're fucking up and you need to change?
Yeah, that happens a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. I mean, not so much anymore like it used to, but yeah, it happens a lot. Like when I was taking Percocet, and Percocet is a respiratory system. It's like a suppressant or a downer. It fucks up your respiratory system, which is your ability to breathe. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of important, So, knowing that, yeah, I probably, when I was to the point to where I was like stopping breathing when I was going to sleep, I kind of, knew, however slowly. It was like an agreement with the universe, though. It's like I have those, but yeah, to where it's like, check it. You're gonna have to like not do this no more, even though you might want to or whatever. Because it's not working out to the point to where it's super detriment. Like, like it's gonna fuck you up to where you're not gonna be unfuckable, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Actually, that makes a lot of sense to me. So, yeah, it does make sense. Yeah. Now, before we start treading down the horrible freaking path of YouTube, I think we should move on to this from this part, because I think this could tread into some areas where I could get in trouble.
Maybe.
But the thing is like, you have also got some things that I do want to cover too, which is a part of using the tarot, and there's also we've both done some stuff with numerology, and you played it off like you didn't know much, but then when we actually did it, you knew more than what you played it off as. So I'd really like to get into some of those stuff. We've actually gotten into like some more of the cooler stuff, to the point where I've got like 53 minutes recorded. So we've done a really good job on that. And that was the stuff that I wanted to actually get into that I knew you didn't really get very much chance to talk about. And I knew you'd bring it up in the conversations, but it never went far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to kind of go through some of that stuff. But
yeah.
Now, before we get into this, I want to let everybody know that like Sonia has a habit of pretending like she doesn't know shit.
Do I?
Yeah. So just understand that like just because she says she doesn't know something about certain things, she knows stuff about that certain thing, but she doesn't tell you until it's important to tell you. Like, and
that's the thing, right?
Yeah. But I usually say this because you're a woman. That's the way women do things. Like, because they're it's really important for a woman to have secrets. I know that.
Wow, it's not important for me to have secrets. You got me wrong there.
Okay.
It's just that I don't want to seem like I'm a know-it-all. You know what I mean? I don't want to come off like that, really.
Well, you do a good job at it.
Thank you.
You do a good job at it. The reason why I brought all that up is because you know actually quite a bit when it comes to like magic, and I have noticed that.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're into tarot, but there was one thing that I wanted to ask you, and I keep forgetting to ask you too, but are you into crystal magic?
Not so much. I'm not really into any magic, really, only because I'm not trying to...
Or divination, I should say.
Divination, yes, which I don't think that's kind of the same thing.
I know, that was my bad. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't want to be a manipulator. I'm not trying to manipulate things so much, because say if you put a love spell on somebody, yay, great, you put a love spell on them, they love you, yeah, that's great, but do they love you? Probably not. Right. It's probably just the influence that is on them, and I would rather have real love, not fake love, kind of thing, you know. Actually, just an example.
That brings up a good question that I can present to you then, because that just kind of opened up a whole category right there.
Sure.
Kind of explain to everybody what the difference between magic and divination is.
Oh, magic. Well, magic exists anyway. It all depends on how you view magic, though. If you're talking about it in the traditional type of sense, as far as like spell casting and things like that, then that's more of a, to me, that's more of a black magician kind of thing, because these black magicians, they put spells on whoever, or the masses, you know, in order to have a certain result obtained, which would go against someone's free will. It's almost like it's like tricking them to think that it's their free will when it's not. You know, it's like luring someone into something or another. Which, if you know that you're luring someone into something, then to me that's wrong. You shouldn't do that, because that, to me, even though you might have a wider perspective of things than whoever you're putting the spell on, that doesn't mean it's okay for you to like make them want something or do something that they wouldn't normally do because of whatever you put in front of them, kind of thing. That's manipulation and coercion kind of thing. So there's that would be magic. And then divination is simply getting a reflection back from the universe that you like an intention you want to know about, or more information that you would like with a certain idea, and what that idea might be connected to, the certain thought forms or ideals or concepts that whatever your question is might be connected to.